Beautiful. Soothing music and a sunrise, beautiful. So that's all we need for a blissful Sunday morning. Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you so much for coming. So, so we have Abhinav Deodhar with us, and today, like we have seen this beautiful instrument. Like it's one of a kind, and it has been recently what I'll say invented.
Yeah, it's if I were to just tell you a little bit about it, it's more or less a 15-year-old instrument in existence. It sounds very ethnic and old and traditional, but it's one of the newest instruments in the world right now. And it was invented by a couple in Switzerland, by a company called Pan, and they named it Hang. In their Bernese dialect, essentially means played by hands, something by hands. So this was invented by an idea from a percussionist who went to them with a ghatam, with the Indian pot. And he said, "Can you make me a steel drum which I can keep on my lap and play?" So that's how it came into existence.
So the original was this handpan, I would say, right? So it was made of steel.
It's steel. So this is nitride steel. So they treat, essentially it's a heat-treated steel in a way that it makes the steel harder. So whatever that they hammer, it stays long. So the tuning stays long. So that's the idea.
Oh, nice.
And it doesn't rust. It has better properties than the normal steel. So it doesn't rust. So it's a combination of a lot of things together. It's
It's like a music. It's like all music. So all music has been combined together. Like from Indian culture, from Asian culture, and you take European culture, and exactly like that, you took all elements like a steel, and then you make it.
So in very true sense, it is actually the world musical instrument.
That's like it's not entire universe in one particular instrument. So how do you come in contact with this beautiful instrument?
So what happened five and a half years back, I saw something on YouTube and I totally flipped away. There was a guy with long hair playing this UFO looking thing which sounded just like nothing else. And I mean, I'd never heard such sounds, and when I first heard it on YouTube, I realized that's the only thing I wanted to do in my life. I kept wondering because nobody here had this one, and as I spent more time with it, I realized that the only way to get one is to travel to Switzerland, and even if you do, there are chances that you might not get it.
So you cannot get one teacher like who can make you teach you the art of playing this beautiful instrument. So how did you learn this?
I actually didn't learn it. It's all. I didn't have a teacher, and I decided at a very early time that I wouldn't want to have a teacher for an instrument like this. I'm not musically trained, so this instrument, this sound has always been a reflection of how I feel at that moment, and so it just brings alive for people. That the sound sort of brings alive my emotion. That's my idea of my music. So that's what I try to bring in. Basically, the dimples that you see are like tones on the instrument.
Okay.
So the area around the dimple, it's hammered across to create a certain metal tension. So it's more like how in a guitar you sort of tighten the string to create that metal tension for the sound. It's the same principle followed here. So they hammer it down to create that tone. So every single dimple sounds different. So this is more like sa re ga ma pa da ni sa, but so different scales put together.
Okay. So I'll say this is a smaller tune, if I have to say.
Yeah. So actually a note. So a smaller area, smaller dimple reflects a high note. Mm-hmm. A bigger dimple, a bigger area reflects a low note.
And how this dome thing.
So this is also a note. This is the bass note of the instrument, and it sort of holds. It gives the mood of the entire instrument.
So I saw you wearing some rings in your finger.
Right.
When we were coming here. So now you are playing without them. So is it like a special care you need to?
Yeah. So it's just you need to protect this metal. It's sensitive as an instrument, and because I cannot tune it myself, so I need to anyways take a lot of care about it. So when you play, there are times that the ring touches on the instrument, so you sort of avoid all of that. And I think it's important because it took me 5 years to get one, so I just don't want to, cause one bit of damage to the instrument.
So you recently got married, right? Congratulations for that. Now, how you're keeping all things together, right? Now you have a family, you have to take care of it, and you also hold a day job, and you have pursue like you like what you do with the instrument, and you want to do something about it. So you're so passionate about it. So how you keep all things together? Because
initially, when I was getting into it, when players used to come down live at my home, so my parents were extremely supportive back then. So I'm just blessed to have a nice family.
Though the path will be a bit difficult, but things might come up.
That's the nature of life. You need to improvise every time. Every time you think life will be like this, it's so unpredictable. It just changes the very next second. So like music, every time you improvise, life is also like that, I think.
So you told us that you also, are planning to make the instruments now.
Hopefully. So I'm doing my research. I'm just trying to. So that's a distant goal. That's a dream. A lot of makers eventually got into making because they were players and they wanted it so badly, and people wanted, and there aren't instruments available. So it's more like that. So just to learn the art form, because I already make another instrument. So I make an Australian wooden instrument, so it's called didgeridoo. So the kind of involvement that I have with music has intensified because I started making instruments. So because I realized how much does it goes behind making one good instrument, the respect for the music, the respect for instrument, the respect for art form, the respect for people just went up.
So for our viewers, so if they want to follow your music, if they want to follow wherever you're doing a gig, small jamming session, so is there any Facebook page or they can connect?
Sure. So my musical project is called Anandamide. It's so I have a Facebook page by the name of Anandamide.
So how do you spell it?
It's Ananda, Ananda, Mide.
That's nice. So do we have any history behind this? Because it's a very unique name.
Anandamide actually is known as the bliss molecule.
Okay.
So whenever your body is into utter states of depression or you feel low, so there's an automatic release of a certain cannabis in your system from your brain, so which calms you down, which makes you more meditative, which makes you happy. Essentially, it's the molecule which gives you bliss. So I read about it, and then I first heard the hang, and for me the sounds of the hang were like Anandamide, and that's what I decided to keep as my musical project.
Actually, this music it really goes with the music which this plays. So there it is, guys. Abhinav Deodhar, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And you can log on to Facebook, search me as Abhinav Deodhar, Abhinav with a handpan or something like that, and you can reach out to me on Facebook on my channel on YouTube. Thank you.